Okay, so I'm going to be replacing the signal switch inside the steering column, which is quite a ways back there. Turning right works, but turning left does not. You have to, it doesn't snap into place. You kind of got to do like this when you turn left. So I'm going to be taking all this assembly apart and getting into the signal switch and replacing it. The first thing I'm going to do is disconnect the battery. And if you're not familiar with Corvettes, the battery is behind the seat, right down there. Okay, so I have to remove this outer cover, and I'd already broke it loose with both my hands, and I had to give it a tug, so I had to do it with both hands, but you can see it's in there pretty good, and then you just take this off. Okay, so I'm just going to start removing this stuff here. Take all these pieces out. There's surprisingly quite a few pieces to this assembly, but I'm going to just lay everything out, and I'll show you that here in just a second, so that when I put it together I don't lose the order in which things are going. So I'm just going to finish taking these out. Okay, now that I've got those long screws out of there, I'm just going to take this assembly out. There it goes. Okay, and there it is, just like that. And I'm going to go lay this out in order. Okay, so inside the steering column, it's pretty complex and there's a lot of parts. I knew there would be. And just as a side note, I'm going to sand this down and repaint it when I put it back together. But anyway, so there was this piece, and it was sitting in there just like that. Okay, and then I had these three washers on top of this piece. So I am very carefully, and this is the key to things, to doing this, is to lay things out just like they were disassembled. Okay, so before I take this screw out, I'm just going to take note of where everything is. One unique thing about this piece is it does have this lip right here, so I'm going to make note of that. Okay, and then so I can get that exactly like it was when I put it back together. Okay, with that little screw out, this next piece controls the telescoping steering. If your car has that, mine does. So as soon as I loosen this up, it will start to let loose. You'll see here. Okay, so I'm just going to stop there and show. See how that telescoping is now no longer locked in place. Okay, just wanted to make the audience aware of that. Okay, and so just so I don't lose track of anything, I went ahead and put that telescoping bolt back in there, and that screw temporary on there just to kind of hold it so I don't lose track when I go to pull this back together. Okay, so next I'm going to remove the actual steering wheel with these screws here and get this steering wheel off of here. Okay, so I've got all the screws out, and this is coming off steering wheel, and then I'm going to mark this visually, and I'm going to lay it out so that it goes back exactly the same way. Okay. Okay, so as I've got things laid out, I did decide to go ahead, because this has to go back just like it was, I did go ahead and mark this top, and then it should be pretty obvious how it goes back in. So with all its indentions and such. So I did go ahead and mark that top, so that's not a bad idea to not lose track of things. Okay, so next I'm going to remove the horn contact bushing, which is this right here, and it just pulls right out. Get that out of there. So next I'm going to remove this bolt that is holding this wheel hub back. Mine's 13/16. And I'm just going to take that off. It's loose. There we go. Okay. Just going to take this bolt off. And lay that out. Okay, so this next hub, I was able to just pull it off with my hand. I just grabbed a hold of it and gave it a good snug, and it came off. I saw where some people might have to use a puller, and you would basically put 2 bolts in here, and I'll show you how that would normally work. But I was able to get this off with my hand. Okay, so just for fun, I didn't need to do this, but I was prepared to. Basically what I was going to do was take these and screw them in there with this apparatus in there, and then this is threaded in there, so as I turn this, it would smash against that and it would pull this hub loose, pull it off there. But I didn't need to do all that, so anyway, but that's how it would have worked. This is a threaded piece. Okay. Okay, so next I'm going to take this plastic washer off there. And just so you can see, I continue to keep things lined out. And that. Okay, so next, I'm going to remove these pieces here. And these pieces here. And I'm going to go lay those out and keep everything in order. Okay, so I'm adding to my order of operation, not to lose track of anything. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is get this clip off this, looks like a horseshoe. That's wedged in here, holding all this in place. So that's what I need to get off next, and it's a little tricky. Okay, so I'm at the hardware store, and I brought the screw with me, and I found that it screws into a 5/16 18. Sorry, where's the camera? There we go. Okay, so then I went and I found this 5/16 18 by 3/4 inch, and there it is, and it's the same length. So I'm going to put this one in there to hold the steering column. Okay, so basically how this works is, you saw I had this part screwed on to that shaft, and then this part will sit up against that that metal, and as I tighten this bolt here, see how it's going to bring this, and it's basically going to allow me to take off that horseshoe clamp. And this is the kit that I bought. Found it on eBay for like $25, and there's its item number. But they're pretty common, but it's got most everything you would need. Okay, so now I am able to screw this in to lock that arm in place, and it's just got a small Allen head so that next tool can slide over that. There's better. There, I've got that locked in, and now it cannot move, and it's ready for the puller tool. Okay, so now I've got this. Now that it has a smaller head, there we go. I can thread this on. This piece threaded on there. All right. Okay, so now you can see the assembly. What I'm doing here is I'm just tightening this down so that it takes some tension off there, and I can slide this clip out of there. I'm going to use this and slide that out of there once I get this tightened down a little bit. Okay, I went ahead and took off the tool, but I was able to slide this out, and now I'm ready to get out this assembly and that, and now we're finally down to the signal switch. Okay, so next I'm going to remove this screw right here, and it holds the turn signal lever to the signal switch. And like I said, it works that way, and it does not work this way, so that's what started this whole project, but I need to disconnect the screw next. Okay, so now I've got that broke free. And next I want to remove those 3 screws, 1, 2, and 3, which are holding the signal switch in place. So I'm going to remove those 3 screws. Next I have to remove the screw inside the hazard switch. And on some cars that might be the Dukes of hazard switch. Okay, so the signal switch is plugged in underneath the steering column above the brake pedal. Okay, so I'm using this mirror to show where it is. So I'm going to reach in there and unplug it, but just so I've seen some other videos on this and nobody's really showing where this is at, so got a mirror, and so there it is. I'm going to unplug that so that I can disconnect it. So just as a side note, what I'm doing, I do not recommend this, but what I'm doing is my battery's disconnected and everything. I'm going to snip those wires because this signal switch is trash anyway. Instead of trying to take that big plug and feed it back through here, personally, I'm just going to snip the wires and pull the plug out from the other end and pull this out this way. That's just me, but I do not recommend doing that. If you can get that plug fed through there, that's the way a person should do it. Okay, so now I have the signal switch out. Let's just take a look. I just want to show everything we've taken apart thus far. It's a good inventory. Here's the little switch bracket. I did remove that underneath the steering just so I can see what all the hell's going on. And this is the plug that I just removed. And then there's the signal switch that I'm going to replace. Okay, so I did go down to the auto store and they did have in stock. This is the new signal switch. There's the old one that didn't work. Got the new signal switch, and this is the item number if anybody's interested. But it is going in a 1978 Corvette Stingray silver anniversary. Okay, so when it comes to putting everything back together, I'm going to try to make it quick because you pretty much just doing everything in reverse order that was already seen. So there's this new signal switch, the 1, 2, 3, screw right behind there. So it's back in place, and you just kind of feel that's what it looks like when it's back in place. It just kind of snaps. You'll feel it is what I had to do to see where it really goes. Okay, so next I put the lever arm back in. There's the turn signal arm and the little arm that hooks to the switch. Again, feel where it goes. That's what I had to do. I had to feel where it goes, and it just kind of snaps. Not really snaps, but if you feel where it's in its right place. And I tightened that down, screw down. I got it tight, but not too taut. Because remember, that is just plastic, so you don't want to torque the hell out of it and break anything. Okay, so there's that, and left turn. So, yeah, I'm really happy with that. That's perfect. Okay, so real quick, I got to go back to this gag. So this time, instead of taking pressure off, I'm applying pressure. Got that screwed on, just like I went through already. So as I turn this, puts pressure back there so that I can get, I remember this little guy, this horseshoe clip goes right behind there, but I got to put some pressure on there. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so there, if you can see in there, I'll try to zoom in. That groove is now showing right back there. I've got enough pressure on this that I can slide that horseshoe in. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, I need both hands, so I'm going to set the camera down and do that. Okay, so I got the horseshoe clamp back on, and it slid right in there once I got enough pressure. This pushed back enough with my apparatus here, so I'm going to slowly and carefully take the pressure off this and take this out. Okay, let's put these pieces back in. That just like that. Then this washer, this washer, and this washer. Okay. So just real quick, I want to point out at the beginning of the video, I only had one screw in here, and there's supposed to be two. So I had to order online 2 new screws. They're pretty proud of them. They're like $5 a screw plus shipping. So, but the telescoping arm works, if you notice, like that. Unlocks it. Okay. A lot of people don't know about these older cars and how that works. When I turn that, that locks that steering taut, and then that allows it to telescope, and everything appears to be working. So, okay, so I've got everything working. Most importantly, this turn signal, there's left, there's right, and it all works just fine. It used to not snap in place. I had to fake it, so that's working. And if I turn that over, the telescope's out, in and out, just like it's supposed to, and then locks back into place when I turn that back over. So that's great. And I'm not putting this on just because while it's off, I'm going to sand it down and prime it and paint it. I am also going to get a new steering wheel here eventually, but until that magical day, I'm going to at least take care of this here. Okay, so I've also got more Corvette improvements and Camaro improvements, and I got all that coming up. I hooked up my battery, and there we go, and there we go. All right, so I've got a lot more Corvette and Camaro stuff coming up. Got a couple car show stuff coming up. And on my channel, I also do just a little bit of chess, and I also talk about different phenomenons and science stuff that happen in the realm that we live in and call Earth. So I've got some of that stuff coming up as well. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.